Thanks. I'm Paul Berlowitz. I work for ExxonMobil Research and Engineering, and along with Dennis Stevens of Lockheed Martin, I'm the interim co-chair of the Business Working Group. So the Business Working Group, we really just got started in January with telecons after the kickoff in November. And, our main objective is to develop and implement some business vision on how the user, supplier, integrator community can work together to develop practices that support this overarching open automation in a way that takes everybody's interests and everybody's point of view into account. And so we need, of course, as the other speakers have said, participation from a broad group of people in order to get everybody's perspective and everybody's point of view on how to make a business case that is compatible with both the open automation structure and also with everybody's point of view on how they can make a profitable business in this area. Right now, the Business Working Group has got two subcommittees, the Business Guidance Subcommittee and the Marketing and Outreach Subcommittee. And the Marketing and Outreach Subcommittee has developed a brochure, a trifold, which I think we have copies of here, correct? Yeah, on the table here. So I don't have a slide on that because the trifold itself has got a lot of information on it and doesn't really fit on a PowerPoint slide. But I think you're more than welcome to get a copy of those. Don's got them on this front table. So please pick one up if you're at all interested. But they have already, in just a few weeks, produced a brochure that gives a quick introduction, gives some overview of what the activities are, what the structure is, who's involved, and it's a good introduction. I'm sure that there'll be further marketing and outreach materials in the future. The Business Guidance Subcommittee has done quite a bit of work in soliciting the opinions and viewpoints of everyone's business model and what their point of view as to what business models they currently practice, what they might practice in the future, what their concerns are, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But we'll be coalescing that into a document that we'll then be able to share with people on how we see the business guidance path forward. We may add additional subcommittees in the future to address certification, to address component discovery, and that's based on just trying to leverage what was done in the FACE Consortium in avionics, follow their path where it's appropriate, where the parallels exist. And so we may add additional subcommittees as time has gone on, but we haven't had the chance to address it yet. As it is shown, we're the group of three groups on the left there, the Business Working Group, and again, right now we have the two subcommittees, and we'll see whether or not it's warranted to add the others. So from a strategy point of view, the Business Working Group has worked on a charter, which is more or less in close to final draft form right now. The first principle of our strategy is to pick up learnings from the FACE Consortium. Don't reinvent what's already been done. Leverage what they've been done, and where the parallels exist, go ahead and use them. Develop a clear path that will bring rapid adoption by fitting in to both suppliers and users' wants and making a viable business model for the industry as a whole. And primarily, I think our main objective is to seek this alignment. And that's really why we need to get voices from all around the industry, both the user and the supplier base, to seek an alignment that will work for everybody. The other thing the reason the Business Working Group is active early and trying to get this alignment is that we want to make sure that what the enterprise architecture and the technology working groups come up with is compatible with that business vision. So where there's proprietary IP and where there's open standards, that's compatible with how both the users and suppliers see their use of this technology and also how they're going to sell into this market and be profitable. Besides that, where the business working group is actively seeking inputs. We've received a lot of inputs from a few suppliers and quite a few suppliers and a few users. And my clicker doesn't. Oh, there we go. Over exuberant. So the Business Guidance Subcommittee, which Jean Tung spoke about, I think, earlier in the week already, is tasked with developing the business guidance document that's going to serve as a reference as to what the open automation and open process group's approach is going to be to that. Right now, we're defining what everybody's concerns are and what their desires are, and we've compiled a pretty decent-sized spreadsheet already that lists, where we see commonalities, where concerns are, what people's desire is as a future business case, and we're going to try to reconcile that into a vision that we're then going to disseminate out to everybody. What I would encourage is that while we have a number of inputs, we don't have everybody's inputs, and especially on the user end, we're a little sparse in terms of what we've received to date. So we could use more users to join, and we can use more extensive user input so that we can balance, not just what ExxonMobil and Merck's point of view is on what we want as a future state, but also what a broader range of industry participants want. Take into account everybody's concerns, describe business goals, and then try to develop business scenarios that work for the industry as a whole. And as you said, we're going to be producing a document probably later on this year that summarizes that.